All right, now we're recording, and I just don't feel that energy of being connected to the world.
Yeah, because we could have gotten comments when we were on Facebook Live, right?
You know, we could try to Facebook Live from a phone for later, but so let's pretend
we could talk here and then also like put the phone up like this and be like, oh, and we're also on Facebook Live. Hi, gang.
Hello, gang.
Yeah.
But we could do Instagram Live in there. We'll put the Instagram Live on the mug.
There we go.
And
Instagram Live. While we're also recording. So you're recording this onto what, though?
So we're recording there. So that's our camera.
Yeah.
This is just for comments and if anybody pops in.
Okay. So they'll see us over here.
So this is our TV audience where the old people are on Facebook.
Yeah. This is
down here is where the kids are on the Instagram. Which is, by the way, this looks way too close and uncomfortable, this one.
It's very close. I actually look like I'm taking a shit on this one.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we're if you remember the old SNL commercial, the love toilet with I think it was Nealon and Victoria Jackson sharing the love toilet. And Tom and I are on the love toilet if you're watching on Instagram. And then we're also recording it. And I'm going to take this audio and chop it up and put it in the Bladtcast. Yeah. We are covering many platforms in this conversation.
Do you want to start the whole show over?
Oh, no, we're just going to keep going.
Because you just named it the love toilet.
This episode is the love toilet.
I feel like that's your episode.
Whatever happened to the hot girl in a toilet? You remember?
Oh, God.
Tom used to do a show called This Show Again, which was literally the first podcast I ever listened to. I've talked about this before when you've been on the Bladtcast. I would go to grab an episode and I would burn it onto a CD and listen to it in my car.
Yeah.
That was how I knew how to listen to podcasts because I didn't have any of those then fangled devices. And I would listen to the show, and I still have CDs that are like handwritten that say "This Show Again" number 7.
Okay, I could probably use them for the family archive.
That's probably true. They're somewhere. They're like in like one of those visors you used to put on the visor of your car. You'd stick CDs in. Yeah. You have one of those in a box somewhere.
They're in the Saturn
with some Green Day outtakes as well. So we just got some people saying.
So I'm saying hi to Sally Botts, one of the best stagehands at ABC. Hamster Man.
What's up, Hamster Man?
Hamster Man is here.
So did you tell the Instagram audience?
So Instagram audience, but
they're just watching because you're
live.
Some
of them are coming in the middle, so we can't just keep saying it. But we're on. Tell them where we are.
Well, what we are. I mean, I'm from the Bladtcast. He's the Tom Kelly.
No, but where is this broadcasting? So then they can find it later. Where are they going to find your?
You can find the Bladtcast later. Bladtcast, BLADTCAST.com. That's the easiest way to find any of this stuff.
So I'll tell you. So I used to do a web radio show, which they now call podcast.
That's true. It wasn't even called a podcast.
I would call it a web radio show, and it was podcasting. But I felt no one knew what the word podcasting was. But we had what was the best hook for a week. It was what you would call a campaign or a runner. Yeah. We had the Hot Chick on a Toilet contest. And basically in the year 2006, it was kind of like that Ariana Grande stooling trend that's out right now.
Yes.
So the trend was on MySpace, the young girls would post pictures of themselves being cute on a toilet. And they would do selfies, and it wasn't even selfies because someone else was taking the picture. So we had the campaign to find America's hottest chick on a toilet. And again, you talk about Google and putting up pervy things leads to real viewers. We had actual entries. We recruited a couple on our own. There was a girl, Dana, who won, and she was America's hottest chick on a toilet. And she's married and has 3 kids now. Your mom, somewhere there's a mom out there with 3 kids.
And she has 3 very attractive kids on potties.
Yeah.
Very attractive.
Cute baby on a potty.
Hey, I mean, you gotta go with. It's all about branding. That's one of the things that we were talking about when we got interrupted because we tried to do this as Facebook Live. Facebook Live wouldn't have us.
It could be my old iPad.
It could be that. Yeah, but at the same time, we weren't able to do it. But you were talking about sort of self-help videos and things like that.
Well, and so for those of you who follow me, I got my friend Hamster Boy saw me at Good Morning America. New York Cowboy is.
I think New York Cowboy want you to bring it back, as in bring back this show again?
No, I think he wants to bring back the hot chick on a toilet.
Oh, okay. Well,
so hot chick.
I'm with my Cowboy 73.
So what's funny is you try to figure out what does Tom Kelly want to be as a broadcaster. And there's a guy I think you guys should all watch. I was telling Christian about before, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was talking about focusing your podcast on the things you know. Whereas me, I've always focused on the places I was working. Hey, there's a picture from The View. There's a picture from Good Morning America. What I think I should be focusing on are two things. One, I got a giant green screen there that I should do Star Trek videos. You know, like I could critique Star Trek the way you have built a fan base on it.
And I'm going to move this. For the Instagram audience, there is Tom's green screen. If you're watching on this other video, which I don't quite know what platform that's for, you did not see it. But that's a little something extra for those of you watching on Instagram.
Yeah, we could show them the studio. So look, for those of you on live,
like, did you just call this a studio? It's your living room.
It is though,
but it could be. You know, I mean, that's Fernwood Tonight. It's basically here we are in Tom's living room. It's our talk show.
So there you go, and there's a little, and we're broadcasting on a right there. Look at that. Oh, Instagram meets Facebook right there. Instagram meets Facebook. But we were trying to Facebook Live on that camera, and
it didn't last.
And I think part of that's because that's an older iPad. Did I ever tell you the story about how I got that iPad?
No, but was the problem, were we actually on Facebook Live, or I think that iPad's so old we were doing it on Friendster Live?
We were on Friendster Live.
But anyway, what's the old iPad story?
It's a great, sweet story. So that was a Christmas gift from Jenny McCarthy, one of my favorite View hosts over the years.
I actually forgot she was on The View. When
Believe
you
me,
said that, I'm like, oh yeah.
And she's trying to forget herself. And
in the arms of Donnie Wahlberg. If there was ever a place to go to forget, it would be Donnie.
Yeah, she stole him from me. That bitch. And there you go. But anyway, she gave that to me for one Christmas, and it's turned out to be a great gift in that it was, I think that's the first iPad Air. But I've used that as a video camera. I've used it as a TV set. I use it to DJ. It's just very utilitarian.
I'm sorry, when do you do DJing? Like parties and things?
When I'm doing like a
bat mitzvah?
So here's a great one. So if you ever saw me perform at America's Got Talent, you know, they are Radio City Music Hall, $10 billion worth of equipment to entertain America. Mm-hmm. And all of the music for the studio audience, the 7,000 people there, came from that iPad.
Wow.
They did not give me a DJ. They did not give me a sound budget. I had Jenny McCarthy's iPad.
And I bet that Howie Mandel never touched that because it was an old iPad filled with germs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Though it's tough to figure him out with the germs. There was a great story, and I have some of the clips of it on YouTube where I thought he was incredibly germophobic.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And
he's the first person I'd heard about who, like, blanket statement, I don't shake hands, period.
So to be funny one day, towards one of the finales from 2015, there's a kid who had a loose tooth in the crowd. And as a joke, I said, I'll give you $100 if Howie Mandel pulls your tooth. And the funny would be, wah, wah, he has a germophobia.
Yeah, he's not going to put his hand in a child's mouth.
So Howie...
It's like licking a subway pole.
Yeah. So Howie, who I thought wasn't even paying attention, he suddenly perks up. He's like, what? A dare? And he goes, but this is the biggest bluff calling in my life. He goes, get me some rubber gloves.
Oh, now if Howie knows anything, he knows rubber gloves.
Now realize they couldn't get me a friggin', DJ for my music. Howie wants rubber gloves. 50 pairs of rubber gloves magically appear in Radio City Music Hall. And he pulled the kid's tooth, and I paid in front of the crowd of 7,000. I paid the bet.
You paid $100. So there went your
paycheck for the evening. Yeah, I was officially working at a loss. I was officially.
Now you were doing the warm up for America's Got Talent. Obviously, if it was when I was in New York, it's when Howard Stern was doing the show. He, the way he talks about it, he didn't really interact with kind of anyone ever. Did he talk to the crowd at all, or like when you were doing things like that, would he? I'm not even saying do bits with you, but hey, let me talk to some of the people while
He talked a couple of times a night. I mean, he wasn't. He downplays how nice he is a bit. He is a nicer guy than he gives himself credit for.
That's what it seems like,
he was very nice to me 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty sure I was fired for a week, and he and Howie Mandel helped get me back. Yeah, I was gone for a couple of days.
Did you accidentally call Mel B Sporty Spice? Is that what got you fired?
No, she's okay with being called. No,
but she's not sporty. That's what I'm saying. But she was Scary Spice at one point. And then they changed her name from Scary Spice because, oh, look, the black one is Scary Spice. You know, I mean, even in 1997, people realized, like, well, that's some bad branding that the only black one is Scary Spice.
And in all fairness, Posh Spice scares me more than Scary Spice.
Oh, now, for sure. I mean, you know, that's, you know, look, let me put it this way for our soccer fans, and there are many watching and listening
because,
right now.
Tom Kelly is synonymous with the MLS.
Anytime, no. See, any pitch that David Beckham has played on that much is probably not something you want to get too close to. I was trying to think of other soccer leagues, so I botched the joke part in order to have like a broader reference, and I just didn't have it. You know, the FIFA. You know,
FIFA.
Not much I know about soccer, but
well, and here's what I love about for those of you who are following on my feed here. Christian and I met I guess as interns at Conan O'Brien with dreams of each hosting our own show.
And this is where we are 18 years later.
18 years later, 5 people on Instagram. Yeah. Who knows who's watching on that camera?
You know, and like, you know, a few dozen people listening to audio after the fact. Which is much appreciated.
But, if she's still watching, I hope she is, if we're giving shout-outs. One of my most aggressive Instagram and social media fans and Twitter fans, Jess Morgenstern, I want to give you a proper shout-out. Raven Lynn 143, hello. And Franklin, I saw you in there. I want to say hello to everybody, and including Susanna Lopez, who just came in. Thank you guys for watching live.
Well, you just made me realize, like, why am I not also streaming this to Instagram? I'll be joining in after the fact, but...
oh, no. So now we're going to be competitive. Who can get more on Instagram?
Or should I follow yours and ask questions?
No. Go. I think this is a good contest here. Do me a favor, guys. I don't even know how you bump me up in the following here. Hit the heart. Oh, hit the like button. Hit that happy button. Is that what it is? Hit the happy button to get people on. And Christian and I will have a little bit of a game. Who can have more people watching their miserable, self-centered broadcast?
And for those of you who are watching on my Instagram at ChristianDMZ, not Tom's Instagram, at Tom Kelly Show.
Yeah.
I'm over here just waiting for anyone to start watching it. And the whole thing is going live over there. Not really live, but almost live. And then, you know, I'll be doing something with the audio at some point. And Jeff Winstead is the first one in. Thank you, Jeff Winstead, for joining in. So I have 1.
2. Oh, no.
All right,
Come on, 2. What are we up to? 2. Oh, no, and I'm down to 5. I'm losing.
They're jumping over to mine.
I'm losing viewers. Don't go over to him.
Tom's losing.
No.
Anyway.
No, don't go
maybe
over.
If we stop talking about how we're broadcasting and we do some actual broadcasting, maybe people will enjoy it.
No,
and people who are jumping in the middle, you know, it's okay. We'll hold your hand through all of this. And
this will be somewhere later, people. That's all you need to know.
That's all that matters. You know, anything that you missed, I will make sure that you find it at some point. Tom will tweet it. I'll tweet it. We'll Facebook it. I don't have Snapchat. Did you use Snapchat at all?
I am playing with Snapchat, and I think Snapchat's where you want to get... I mean, it sounds creepy to say this out loud.
Yeah.
But Snapchat is where everybody under 22 is. Oh. And, you know, and as a guy who's trying to build a fan base... You want to know where those people are, because the 15-year-olds grow up to be 25-year-olds who go to comedy clubs. Right. Or the 15-year-olds grow up to be 18-year-olds who book comedians at their show. And I can't tell you, in the early days when I used to do like lots of coffee houses and stuff, how many 15-year-olds wound up hiring me for well-paying gigs.
Yeah.
And that sounds creepy at first.
No, but it does make sense. And I mean, the thing about Snapchat is that a group of like 24 to 26-year-olds that I work with at the AfterBuzz TV networks, they're the ones who tried to explain it to me. And as soon as I heard, well, it goes away after a day, I'm like, no, because we have all of this right here. Tom's Instagram, mine Instagram, and that video that I still don't quite understand what it's going to be. I need to be able to take this audio and reuse it, because what it all comes down to, like, I want to work hard. I want to deliver something for the 2.5 people watching.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to reuse it later, you know, because I have the Bladtcast at bladtcast.com, Bladtcast, thank you. And I'd like to use stuff like this. I've done some patchwork Facebook Live videos, cut them together, and just do stuff like that, you know?
See, and this is where I'm going to disagree with you on the Snapchat, where you got to learn to play with it. One, I find I'm at a point in my career where, you know, when you say, Tom, what is the Tom Kelly Show about? I have no effing clue anymore. But what I am about right now is building up a connection with viewers and fans and people who have seen me on other broadcasts. So hopefully I could take them to wherever I go whenever I turn into something real. Which, by the way, even if it's just to show off that I have 8 viewers here and you only have 2 over here.
Yeah, no, I've lost viewers, and I'm going to be very disappointed, Jeff Winstead, if you're not there anymore.
Yeah.
The other people who came and went, it's all right. I understand they're busy. They have things to do. And I'm only down to 1 now. So, Jeff Winstead, you definitely totally let me down. Hugely disappointed.
And the other one you get from your things is, too, like I got my friend Franklin, who saw me perform at The View. Franklin has come to see me do stand-up before, which, by the way, I am at the West Side Comedy Club tonight. West Side Comedy Club, 8 o'clock show, 75th in Amsterdam. Drop my name to get in free. I actually need fans to show up for this one. Trust me.
For my audience, that's in New York. So this is kind of like a bi-coastal thing right here. You know? So, and look, Jeff Winstead is there.
Goddamn, Jeff Winstead. Come to Tom Kelly show.
Yeah, so Jeff Winstead is the only one watching, so bless you. There's somebody else. I think Amanda might still be there. But anyway, Jeff, I appreciate it. Jeff, because you now live in Palm Desert, Palm Springs, you're officially part of Team Bladt West Coast. So thank you for supporting at Christian DMZ, which is a place where you can find me. But the podcast is Bladtcast, BLADTCAST.com. That's the easiest way to find it. I've said it a few times in the last few minutes, but because the audiences are coming and going, but see, then you're losing videos. The more I plug, you're losing viewers. I mean,
I think it's, you know what it is? I think what we're giving people here is a chance to talk. Like Franklin is asking, where's the address for the comedy club again? Tonight,
go ahead, give it
it's
again.
It's in the basement of La Playa Betty at 75th in Amsterdam in New York City. Raven wants to see me at a comedy club. She's gone to Good Morning America a couple of times. And Jeff,
he's still there, Jesus.
Jeff, I want you to come over to this side. Follow me later, Tom Kelly Show. Oh, look, you're up to 2. You've doubled your audience.
Well, I had 4 at one point.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have that many Instagram followers.
No, but even
the people who checked in, I know very well in like private life, and they saw what this was, and they were like, "Oh no, I don't want to watch this."
But here's where you and I are too old for Instagram and Snapchat. You're trying to make a long form connection with these people.
I'm cultivating an audience. That's what we do in this business we call show.
We've been broadcasting for 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And people usually don't watch for more than 30 seconds.
Well, no, that's true. I know that from the old days of Periscope. Used to be a thing, kids. Periscope.
Back when I was a kid.
I used to Periscope from concerts. And I'd be like, oh, here's a song that people know. And that's when I would get all these comments. But see, that would also, what you were talking to, the thing that would happen with Periscope was people accidentally ended up there. And it wasn't people who followed you even. Like, I don't even understand how they found it.
Well, what was great about Periscope was you could look for people geographically and by keywords, and it had a great general feed. Whereas I find with Instagram, anybody on this is a Tom Kelly Show fan. Anybody on this is a, Christian DMZ on this one?
I am Christian DMZ.
You're a Christian DMZ
There's
fan.
also at Bladtcast, but I don't do much with it. And it's weird because like we fluctuate between 1 and 2, and I'm like, well, who's the 2 now?
Well, and that's where you got to stop and let them go.
I would talk directly to the people if they would ask any question. I don't care. See, but you have people that and you're not too old, Tom. That was very nice. Who said that? Raven Simone?
Raven. That's my friend. Yeah, that's Raven Simone.
That's not Raven Simone. Who is a former coworker of yours or current coworker?
No, she's got her own. She left The View to go bring back a spin-off of That's So Raven called Raven's House on Disney Channel.
Is it Raven's House with a Z? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes.
No,
it's not. No, man.
No.
No.
Why would you even ask?
Here's what I know about The View. Sometimes it's on at the gym, and I see it. But whenever I see it, I think of you. And when they go to commercials or come back, I'm like, maybe I'll see Tom. Because sometimes they do the wide shot.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy thing about The View in Los Angeles that nobody cares about. It's on at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's
not on at 11. But you know what else is on at 10 a.m. in Los Angeles?
Oh, no.
The Price is Right. Which, I'm growing up, it was always on at 11. You'd have lunch at noon. So, like, you go Price is Right to lunch. That was summer for me. Yeah, I know. I should have gotten outside more. I get it.
It explains a lot.
Yeah. But no, my mom would actually tell us, like, we had to go out after lunch. You know, so it was like in the morning we could be inside. But anyway, and so that threw off my whole life. It was having The Price is Right at 10 a.m. and not 11 a.m. because I'm not always ready for that. But that's all right.
Well, here's talking about all this live internet streaming we have here. You and I started out. Christian was at some of my very first stand-up gigs, and which were also some of your very first stand-up gigs.
When I used to do stand-up, absolutely.
18 years ago.
They're very rare. They're collector's items. If you had gone to one of my stand-up sets, it's one of like maybe, I was going to say 20. That might be too many. It might be. I might have done it like 15 times.
So God, do you think it was that little?
Well, yeah. I mean, with the open mics and the Sweet Polyesters, and we did that gig at Quinnipiac. And, like, because I'm not counting improv comedy because most people who appreciate comedy don't count improv. It's a little joke for my improv friends. What's up? Anyway, I have improv friends. I've taken sketch classes at the Upright Citizens Brigade. So I know the importance of game. Having your sketch be 4 pages or less. That's important. Stick right to it. Yeah, I would always write, like, 8-page sketches because I was brought up in the age of SNL where it was like, no, if something's funny, make sure you beat them over the head with it like 15, 20 times to remind them how funny it is. Because that's comedy. Anyway, I was at some of your earliest stand-up gigs. But you had done Gladys's room back at the old Hamburger Harry's. Was that where you started?
Well, Gladys, and get into it. My first gig was with Sicardo. Sicardo took me to an open mic night at the Gershwin Hotel. I don't know if that place is still there, but they had a big room in the lobby. And then my second, third, fourth, fifth, and probably 20th gigs were all at that Gladys's on Wednesdays.
Right.
That became sort of a scene for me on Wednesdays, and then eventually Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. But my question for you would have been, when we started out, if you wanted to have 7, 4, and then whatever that count
is. I'm down to 0.
Okay, but that's
Thanks,
fine.
Jeff.
So if you wanted, though, 4 people to watch you perform, you had to wait up till midnight.
Yeah.
And you remember you would wait for your name to get pulled out of the hat. You would go to Gladys's on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock. She would start the show at roughly 7. And then she would just pull these names out of a hat. And then if you were lucky, if you were the last name in the hat, you were on at like 10:45 at night after sitting there for 3 hours, and you were lucky if there were 4 people in the room. Whereas now, if I want to tell jokes for 4 people, I press a button. And I guess my question for you is, if you were starting all over now, what would you do?
If I were starting everything all over right now, you always said this from doing stand-up. It's something that another name drop, Dennis Miller, he said is if you want to do stand-up, you just got to go up and you got to do it. And you got to do those shitty rooms. If it means working all day and staying at the open mic until midnight, 1 o'clock, you got to do that too. If you can go to a couple in a night, do that. Because once you actually get more established, like I've heard more established comedians talk about, I forget his name now, the guy from Silicon Valley who won't do the show anymore.
Oh, TJ Miller.
Yeah, TJ Miller. Like, he'll take the same 10 minutes and do it in 6 places in a night when he's working on it. And, even guys like Seinfeld and Chris Rock, they'll take the same thing to a bunch of different rooms, and they'll just go around the same night. Now, obviously, it's very easy when you're them, because it's like, Mr. Seinfeld wants some time.
Seinfeld's
Yeah, and it's great. And then I, of course, always feel bad for the person that has to go on, after Seinfeld.
Well.
Because, okay, next in the hat, now that Jerry S. has gone. But I think sticking with doing the stand-up and working on getting material that worked, that I would have been able to utilize. So here's the thing, too. If people had podcasting at that time.
Yeah, I never would have touched it.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, I feel like podcasting was a better outlet for me. And granted, it stemmed from doing a radio show. And God, it hurts me so much that no one is watching.
Then turn it off, because that gets depressing. It does get depressing.
So, and Jeff, I'm expecting a story. When this ends up as a Bladtcast later, I'm expecting to know what you were doing that you stopped watching my bad Instagram. Now, should I trick people and start it again?
No, I'd leave it on. I would leave it on and just see who comes in, but stop looking at it because you're depressing yourself.
I am depressing myself. But anyway, I think that the point of it being that the time that I was standing on stage telling jokes was always fun. It was the rest of it. The waiting, the barking, which for people that don't know, that's you stand in Times Square here in New York, and I guess in LA you're basically out on Hollywood Boulevard or at the Grove. You're somewhere where there are big groups of people, and you're just trying to get people to go to a comedy show.
Yeah.
And whenever I see, and that's the funny thing, is a lot of times people think those are people that work for the comedy club. They're almost always comedians.
Well, now in the city, there's a weird, skeevy group of professionals, but you would love...
oh, you mean the costume characters that hang out with Naked Cowboy?
Honestly, they're they're with prison records. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, with prison records. And my friend Taylor, who's still watching, who I work with at GMA, my friend Michael told me to watch the show Crashing. And Crashing is the Pete Holmes show.
Yeah, I know what it is. I know Artie Lang was on it, and it's produced by Judd Apatow, right? I haven't seen it, but it's Showtime, right?
But you would love it because it captures a lot of the experiences of when you were starting out in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah. Pete Holmes flyers for an episode. Then there's another episode. There's the warm-up episode, which captures both ends of my career. It captures where Pete Holmes gets the warm-up for Rachel Ray. Joey Cola not in the episode, before you ask.
Because that's Joey Cola's gig, is warming up Rachel Ray.
But they had...
And just for an aside, for the people on whichever platform, Joey Cola did the warm-up for the Rosie O'Donnell show, I think the whole run of the show, at least any time that either of us were involved with it, myself as a page, you as a page, and also working on the show. And Joey Cola is, to me, the quintessential TV show warm-up comedian, because he has bits that work, are proven, get laughs every time, and he doesn't care how many times the crew heard it.
Yep.
Which, you know...
That's about what I've become.
And I was going to say, and who knew in 1999 that you were like, oh, I want to be the next Conan. And I'm not saying that you can't still be the next Conan.
But it
because we should take this show to Cuba. But you could be the next Conan. But as of, just right now, during the day, you are Joey Cola, which, was somebody that I kind of had tremendous respect for.
Yeah.
I got tired of the jokes. But as I said, you and I were talking a few days ago, Mike Sweeney, the head writer for Conan, not at that time, he wasn't the head writer. Jonathan Groff was. And there's an actor named Jonathan Groff.
Okay,
and
it's very confusing. I know. Long roads.
It's very confusing that there's two Jonathan Groffs. But anyway, Mike Sweeney used to do warm-up for Conan, and he also had like 8 jokes that were go-to jokes every single show. But at the same time, it was like, well, they worked.
Yeah.
And my favorite, I've used it on the Bladtcast before, and it's a very New York reference.
Should I pick a college?
Yeah. Sure.
Ask me what college I went to.
Hey, sir, what college do you go to?
I go to Iona.
Iona. Well, you have to love any college that advertises on Hot 97. And it's just such a diss. But I think Iona does advertise on Hot 97.
They used to.
Is Hot 97 still around?
Yeah, Hot 97 is very much.
I know Z100 is still around.
Z100 is still big, but Iona used to have a TV commercial and a radio commercial, and they had a jingle. So I sort of stole that joke for a while. Was the only thing lower.
I don't think Sweeney's going to be mad.
Well, no, but I was trying to work it into something making fun of my own college, Quinnipiac. And then, he had the line, the only thing lower is a college than, the only thing worse than a college that advertises on the radio, which my college did, is having a college that has a jingle. And then Iona's jingle was, the proof is in the people at Iona.
There's a few things that I want to talk about from that, although I think we've talked about it in the past, because Tom's been on the Bladtcast a number of times over the years, but we're also multi-platform, multi-dimensional, not personality-wise, very one-dimensional. But, so, schooling that advertises on TV, we can't not talk about Apex Tech.
Okay.
And I was taking the subway up to see Tom earlier in the week, or it was last week, and I took a picture of an ad on my subway train, which was for Apex Tech, which is the technical school here in New York City. And the most endearing thing about them was that they gave you your own toolbox. But the guy who did the commercial said, no, I can't call you.
You have to take the first step.
And I love those commercials. And it's a very New York thing. It's only something that people know from New York. And I think that they maybe only advertised on WPIX Channel 11. I might be wrong about that. But it seemed like that's where I always saw them. And so when I saw that, on the subway, I texted it to Tom, and I'm like, well, this is only fitting that I see you. Because we used to talk about it a lot. We would joke around about it.
Well, they had the old guy, and there's something to be said about, you talk about how media is changing. The loss of local advertising as an art form. That's going away. When you think about the art of, what do you call it? I'm going to end this one. But
because Ravenfire143 joined
you
my Instagram.
Cheater!
That's what I like to see, Ravenfire.
Cheater, Ravenfire.
That's why I left it on, so I could steal people away from Tom.
Wow.
We're only down to 2, and that's why you're turning it up.
Franklin and Taylor are probably...
See, I have Raven here, so I have somebody, but it doesn't say any numbers. So now I have to apologize to Jeff Winstead if he's there and it's just on in the background. And I'll have to also apologize because I don't know how entertaining this is, but this is fun for me. I don't know, Tom, are you having fun talking?
I'm having a great time. Yeah. But you know what's funny about all of this is when you talk about two 40-year-olds not understanding social media, that nobody Instagram lives for this long.
No, yeah, and people don't have podcasts with 249 episodes. But here I am doing it anyway.
And here you are.
And sometimes...
We're still here, baby.
Sometimes there's one Bladtcast I always talk about, infamously, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah. Because I felt like people wanted that.
Well, and you remember, this is a great now where I'm calling your bluff in life and I will not bust your balls anymore. At the end of one of Christian's very long-winded Bladtcasts, I made a dare that I would put $5 for every person who tweeted me into the Felix Bladt, Christian's son, college fund. And I owe you $25.
You do, actually, because there were a few people, and a couple of them mentioned it more than once, trying to get an extra $5. So but Tom's very tight with the books. He made sure that he paid attention to it. And, and we definitely had people who wanted to mention the Tom Kelly Show. And see, now I'm the loser with the low battery.
You want me to charge you up?
No, it's all right. Well, maybe.
Because you have kids. You have a kid to keep an eye on.
That's all right. My wife's going to be home soon.
My friend Taylor, who is still watching along, Taylor is coming back from on the airport. So you're actually watching from the airport. So one of our 3 viewers is retired. Franklin's retired and a karate teacher, if I'm not mistaken. Taylor is a big shot TV producer. She's just stuck in traffic. Crazy Mom is having dinner and listening to us like an old style radio show.
Oh, see, I like that. It's like a fireside chat.
Oh, you're in a cab. Okay.
Think of this as the fireside chat during the time period when the newspapers were on strike. So, what I'm going to do...
And what I love is our 4 viewers are old enough to get that reference.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Sunday comics and I'm going to tell you what Ziggy was up to today. I hope Ziggy's still around. Imagine if Ziggy was...
That's Ziggy. Always a character.
Always a character.
Always a character.
Yeah. Where are we going with all that? That I don't understand how any of this works.
No, but I think talking about you have become,
a multi-hyphenate?
No, but in your... one of the things I'm trying to learn from you is in your post-radio producing career, you've really become a multimedia magnate in some ways.
Well, I don't know that the magnet term is appropriate, but I mean, I've just been lucky enough to fall in with the good crowd. This AfterBuzz TV network that was started by and run by Maria Menounos, who people know from E-Access Hollywood Entertainment Tonight.
I didn't know she was involved in that.
She did all of those, like every kind of, celebrity entertainment news. And I'm saying celebrity / entertainment news. She's done all of them, and E being the most recent one that she did. So Maria and her fiance Kevin Undergaro, they have this AfterBuzz TV network that I kind of fell into by doing his Tomorrow Show, which I fell into.
Interviewing. Is he on air too?
Kevin, he is. Yeah, and people who know Maria from her appearances on Howard Stern know Kevin because he started coming into the studio and telling stories that she wished he hadn't, but the Howard audience and Howard himself always liked hearing.
Have you seen her in person?
Maria?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, many times.
She's magically beautiful.
Stunningly. And I'm talking about, after she's already gone to bed, but then come over to say hi to one of the guests in sweats with a Red Sox cap on, not an ounce of makeup anywhere on her face, still, traffic stoppingly beautiful.
Well, the way I describe my feelings when I see Maria Menounos is... And I'm saying it right, Menounos?
Menounos, yes.
Is, you know how you got King Kong?
Yes.
I'm in the Empire State Building, and the only thing that can calm King Kong down is the Lady in the Hand, or better,
Fay Wray.
Fay Wray, or better, more modern, the only woman who can calm down the Hulk is the Black Widow in Avengers 2. So that's why I feel like she's that kind of pretty, where I just go, I don't even feel dirty, there's nothing wrong.
No.
I just go, and then the blood pressure drops. I know I don't have a chance, and I just become a calm...
Brings it all down.
Whereas sometimes I see a good-looking girl, I'm going to hit that,
When was the last time you said that?
I not quite
in college, I would say that to friends, but,
I've never...
I was never a bigger idiot than I was in my early 20s.
No, only once have I ever done anything, and I wasn't even that lewd. Once at a wedding... I pointed at a bridesmaid, but who was very pretty and I had a crush on, and I just confidently said, I am going to be hooking up with her by the end of the weekend, and I did. But quite frankly, I knew I was the only single guy at that wedding, so I was slim pickings.
Yeah.
This is all the choices she had.
It was like either it was you or is skinamax still a funny word to use? I don't know if it is anymore.
No.
So you travel not as much as you did at one point, but you travel. Like, you end up in hotels.
I've seen the world.
You've seen the world. You're going down to Florida. Yeah. That's right.
That's right. This weekend.
So they have, like, the Spectravision. Is that what it's called? The Spanktravision? I don't even know what's funny. I don't get out. I'm in New York. I can't believe that I've left the San Fernando Valley. Like, it's stunning that I'm somewhere else.
I would love to know who is looking at hotel porn. And I feel like, Taylor, you just came from a hotel. Do you... did it still? Is there Spectravision? What is the
it
hotel
has to
porn
be
of
there.
choice? Because my feeling is, if you are checking out hotel porn, you're either spicing up the marriage.
Yes.
That's a legitimate reason. And then, or you are trying to get fired from your job.
Also true.
Or trying to ruin your marriage. Because there's no point in like putting that bill on your hotel bill. The Spectravision thing.
Now, a discerning hotel might just put that as sundries, might put that as maybe just on demand.
Okay.
If you, maybe slip a 20 to somebody, can you put on demand - the Goofy movie, which oddly enough is also the name of a porn that I've watched in a hotel.
Okay.
The Goofy movie.
Could you describe the plot of that one?
Well, he wears big shoes in a lot of it.
We're out. And we're out. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're putting porn
on the corporate card,
as our friend Taylor's saying on Instagram Live, Tom Kelly show with 4 viewers and Christian with
I don't know.
none.
Do I have 0 or do I?
You might have more
Raven
than you know.
There?
Raven might be there.
And,
Stop obsessing.
You called my attention to it.
Well, but
you're like lording your 4 viewers over me.
All 4, and I can name and have the phone numbers for 3 of them.
And tell them where they should go tonight to see.
West Side Comedy Club. If you're just coming in, I see Anne Mary McD is there. Ali Tumino, whose dad is a saint, and I've worked with Ali at a couple of shows. West Side Comedy Club. Come on tonight. Actually, it's going to be all the warm-up comedians. You ready for a caddy moment?
Oh, who's going to be there?
So it's warm-up comedians from other shows, and I won't name the other. Actually, I'll name the other shows. 2 from Comedy Central, and then a couple of other guys who've done warm-up work. And then there's just this caddy moment of where you know me, I'm not very competitive about being funny. I have no. I want everybody to be good.
Right.
And this is just
that's what everybody should want, but
yeah, and that's what I want.
Does not, yeah.
But in comedy, for sure, there's always this feeling of, hey, I'm going to be so funny, the next guy can't follow me, and I'm embarrassed to say this is the only time that feeling ever comes out in me, is because I want that false sense of superiority
over other warm-up.
Over other men who have failed in show business.
So, what kind of shows do they do warm up for?
Well, there's actually I don't want to name them.
Does FX still have Fox After Breakfast?
No, there's other.
I'm just using that as like a reference.
It's Mike and Maddie.
Mike and Maddie. Oh my gosh!
You know, funny. You know what? Ready for a funny one? So,
is Wonderama still on? It's just a very New York thing. That's
but Mike and Maddie.
That's for that crowd, not
that's for this crowd.
Crowds, yeah.
West Side Comedy Club, Franklin, yeah. So anyway, which one? And by the way, the West Side Comedy Club, less embarrassing to put that on your corporate card than hotel porn.
You know, the way that I think of the West Side Comedy Club is as the Best Side Comedy Club. So you see, there you go.
You know, it's a new club. You should be writing tweets for them.
Please, if there's a check involved, I'll do it. If there isn't, I'll still do it.
When that ever become
as you talked about my sort of multi-platform new media magnet status, if there's money involved, I'm there. If there's not, I'm still going to be there anyway. So don't pay me because you're going to get me anyway, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, well, I've always said, and it's hard to quantify this, but I always believe in doing what you love and the money will follow. So for me it was, we did stand-up comedy. Again, dreams of playing the Beacon Theater. Now I'm playing the basement across the street.
Now I would just be happy to play a coffee shop in Beacon, New York. I don't need to play the Beacon Theater. It's it's been on the Bladtcast, the Doctor Who themed Pandorica tea house in Beacon, New York.
Wait.
If they had an open mic night, I would be happy to take the Metro North up there for 2 hours just to do a 5-minute set. I would try and tailor make my set to the Doctor Who / sci-fi crowd. Why not? You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's completely off topic because there is no topic.
Have we had a topic in 40
There
minutes?
is something that I haven't been to in LA, but another, believe it or not, there's a West Coast themed Doctor Who tea house. It's called Geeky Teas. It's in Burbank, and they have something I think is really fun, but I haven't been to. It's cosplay comedy night. So people are in cosplay, like for Comic-Con. No, but as the characters. So I haven't seen it, but I like the idea, and I think if I go and there's 5 of them, if one of them's good, it's worth it.
Wait, but wait a second. So I will go up and do stand-up as Captain Kirk?
Well, yes, I would go as Spock, of course.
Yeah. Hey, is this thing on?
No, you'd be Chris Pine.
Okay, yeah.
So you can't do that. Yeah, but I would be Zachary Quinto. And, and I don't know. I mean, so it's like if you go as Harley Quinn, it's probably, not as funny as if you go as Catwoman. Or as Christopher Walken would call her, Catwoman.
Who's the one played by Jeffrey Dean? What's his name in Walking Dead?
Jeffrey Dean,
the character Negan.
Negan.
So yeah, you don't want to you don't want to heckle Negan on cosplay night.
He'll have the bat is called Lucille. I think on that show.
Lucille will beat the hell out of you.
Yeah, there are a few gaps in my nerd cred. Not liking The Walking Dead is one of them.
Whoa!
Yeah, the reason why is I just don't like zombies. I find them as a threat the most boring threat ever, and I'm just not interested. I also don't like Game of Thrones because I don't like dragons and shit like that. And, people who watch the Bladtcast, this isn't news, or listen to the Bladtcast.
But for the Tom Kelly show,
Kelly show, they're gonna throw pies at me. Can you do that? Do they have a pie throwing app?
No,
for comedians you don't like.
Yeah,
because if there isn't, we should go into the Google Play Store and the App Store and create the pie throwing.
So
app.
Wait a second. I'll tell you 2 things. One, Walking Dead, I only followed. I'm genuinely afraid of zombies. First, I feel zombies.
Well, you live in New York City. It makes sense. They're probably here already.
Yeah, well, and I've always said this. Anybody who does not believe in zombies has never been to Penn Station at 1:30 in the morning.
That's true.
Dude, I went on a Tuesday.
Been there. Yeah, I've definitely been there at that time. Port Authority at 12:30. The last
Port
bus
Authority,
is the same thing, yeah.
And then with Game of Thrones, I only just started watching it because I realized I thought I canceled my HBO. Did I tell you this?
You did, but tell the audience because it's very funny. That's why I laughed.
I canceled my HBO in January. Turns out it's been on my bill for 8 months. So now I feel like I needed to get my $80 worth.
So you're going to watch 7 seasons of a show that you didn't watch in the first place.
And to your point, I spent 78 hours watching it over a month period. So I essentially spent 2 weeks of work, 80 hours. 2 full weeks of work.
And that's the American way, friends.
Yeah. And I don't feel I enjoyed it. I'm very confused because I didn't focus and take notes.
Yeah.
And that's where we were talking about passively watching shows nowadays.
That's not
one you can passively
We were talking
watch.
in passing about the Jerry Seinfeld Netflix documentary before we did this. And you watched it passively, and so you felt like you didn't get anything out of it. I chose not to watch it. I'm generalizing when I say you didn't get anything out of it. You felt like you needed to watch it.
I could have gotten more out of it. Though.
And I didn't watch it because I'm like, I need to sit down and watch it. And the only things that I'm sitting down to watch right now, other than us on 3 screens, are the shows that I work on for AfterBuzz, Star Trek, and then the Inhumans and the Gifted.
Oh, you're watching the Inhumans, but you won't watch Game of Thrones? Fuck you. Well, let me say that now. Really?
Okay, let me ask you a very important question. Does Game of Thrones have a giant teleporting bulldog? If the answer is yes, I will watch it.
The dragons are damn close.
I want a teleporting bulldog named Lockjaw. That's all I need. I don't need anything else from the Inhumans. Because I knew that character from Marvel Comics, and I'm like, as long as he looks okay, I'm in. And you know what? He looks awesome. He sleeps a lot, probably because he's really expensive to render. So they're like, oh, he's taking a nap. there he is over there in
Yeah.
that same shot we saw 2 episodes ago.
Well, that's what I love about watching Star Trek Discovery.
Yes, which is what we were going to do this video about.
We were. Maybe we'll do a second one just on Discovery. If
Maybe
you feel
we
like
should, yeah.
So here, let's do a second one on
All
Discovery.
right, so we'll continue recording on the
we'll stop.
screen.
We'll restart the whole thing. So I'm going to end my Facebook Live.
Yeah, and I'm going to end mine just because I'm so sorry to everyone. I think people are like, oh, he never has done an Instagram Live before. He's in New York with Felix. We love seeing Felix. I'm sure he's got Felix running around Times Square. I didn't do that. It's me and Tom talking about, how I don't watch Game of Thrones. So I'm sorry to all the moms that are friends of my wife and I and love Felix. You didn't get any Felix on this. But maybe in the future, while I'm still here, I'll do an Instagram Live with Felix. But I'm going to end mine. And
Raven, you're a traitor.
Thank you, Raven, and thank you, Jeff, for even being here at all.
And then ending the show here and here. Taylor, I do perform at Dangerfields a lot at 53rd. And then for you guys on Facebook Live, if you've watched this far in, everybody on, this does not go for you for here in Instagram. But I will put another $5 into Christian's son's scholarship fund if somebody comments with the word chimpanzee, all right? And I am going to answer a real phone call, too, all right? And so this is the Bladtcast starring Tom Kelly, ending now.